Carrier Battle Group 2.0, Vikrant-Led Fleet and Next-Gen Escorts. A modern carrier battle group is a moving piece of national territory, airfield, missile battery, sensor web, and command post in one. India's next iteration is a Vikrant-Led fleet, where the carrier's air wing, next-gen escorts, submarines, and patrol aircraft operate as a single organism that sees first, shoots far, and survives contact in contested seas. This is the continuous story of how a carrier battle group 2.0 comes together and what changes when INS Vikrant is at the center with newer escorts on her flanks. Start with the flight deck. Vikrant's stowbar layout launches fighters off a ski jump and recovers them by arrestor gear, giving the fleet round-the-clock combat air patrols, maritime strike sorties, and airborne scouting. The current air wing of MiG-29K KUB provides fleet air defense and anti-ship strike, while the deck cycles helicopters for anti-submarine warfare, logistics, and search and rescue. As the decade turns, the deck plan evolves. More capable AEW/ASUWU helicopters, shipborne UAVs for persistent ISR, and a transition toward an indigenous deck fighter to extend reach and sortie endurance. The practical effect is a denser protective bubble and longer standoff for strikes without overtasking the deck. To port and starboard sit the group's fists and shields, next-gen destroyers and frigates. Visakhapatnam-class destroyers carry long-range air defense missiles on a bar-stretched vertical launch farm, a phased-array radar that watches hundreds of miles of airspace, BrahMos for sea denial, and powerful electronic warfare suites. Nilgiri-class frigates add a second ring of air and surface defense with compact AESA, modern VLS, and quiet hulls optimized for anti-submarine work. Together, they create a layered dome, interceptors and jammers up high, guns and soft kill close in, so a raid must defeat multiple, overlapping systems before it ever sees the carrier. Under the surface, a silent screen moves ahead of the group. AIP submarines in the near term and nuclear-powered attack boats as they arrive, sanitize choke points, listen for opposing submarines, and sit astride likely ingress routes. Their presence forces any hunter to slow down and turn on active sonar, which in turn exposes them to the group's helicopters and patrol aircraft. The carrier does not sail alone. It sails with an underwater escort but sets the tempo for the fight you never see. Air and sea sensors fuse into one picture. MF Star-class arrays on destroyers, new AESAs on frigates, hull and towed sonars, helicopter dipping sonars, and UAV ISR feeds all flow into a combat management network that shares tracks across the group. Cooperative engagement logic matters. A missile can be fired by one ship using targeting from another, or a fighter can take a beyond visual range shot, guided by a destroyer's radar track. This breaks the old idea of local bubbles and turns the group into a distributed weapon system, where any sensor can cue any shooter. Strike reach grows without dragging the carrier into danger. Fighters armed with BVRAAMs and anti-ship missiles extend the outer air battle, while escorts hold heavy standoff rounds for surface targets. Land attack options from surface combatants add pressure on shore radars, SAM sites, and logistics nodes. The rule is economy. Keep the carrier at the edge of threat rings while long-reach weapons and scouting assets do the risky work forward. Survivability is doctrine as much as steel. Emission control keeps the group hard to find. Decoys and electronic attack complicate enemy targeting. Maneuvers exploit weather and sea clutter. And disciplined magazine management ensures the right mix of interceptors, decoys, and strike rounds is always on tap. Damage control drills, redundant power and combat systems, and armored, shock-mounted vital spaces buy time when a hit lands. The aim is graceful degradation, fight hurt, reconfigure, and keep the air plan running. Logistics and rhythm make power sustainable. A replenishment ship shuttles fuel, aviation stores, and missiles so the group can persist far from home ports. Turnaround on deck is measured in minutes. Hot pit refueling, quick weapon swaps, and predictive maintenance keep sortie rates high. The escorts cycle helicopters in ASW barriers, while UAVs maintain continuous maritime domain awareness. When the air plan, the missile plan, and the fuel plan align, a group holds sea room for as long as policy demands. Training turns capabilities into choreography. Composite training with maritime patrol aircraft extends the group's eyes. Coastal radars and satellites add cueing for far sea intercepts. Joint drills rehearse contested EM spectrums where jamming, decoys, and cyber disruption are expected. The measure of readiness is not a parade of platforms, but the ability to retask in minutes when a contact appears where it shouldn't. The strategic payoff is flexibility. A Vikrant-Led CBG with next-gen escorts can escort convoys, cover amphibious moves, keep sea lanes open, and impose costs on any fleet that approaches Indian shores. It signals presence in peacetime, offers calibrated coercion in crisis, and brings a mobile, sovereign airbase to any part of the ocean where national interests are at stake, all while staying within a layered shield that travels with it. For deep dives on carrier operations, next-gen escorts, and the future of India's sea control, visit globalinfoveta.com.